Hello, good morning. Let's take a quick look at this for starters.
Totally right about this.
Truth has become a right-wing concept. You cannot say it, because if you say it, you are considered right-wing. And to be right-wing is to be in league with the forces of evil. It is a Manichaean division between ideologies of one kind or another and those who don't subscribe to those ideologies. And the ideologies brook no dissent because they represent, in the minds of people who promote them, they represent goodness, brotherhood of man, progress, reason, education. And anyone who opposes them is against all good things.
Yeah, exactly.
So they are not just wrong. They're not people to be argued with. They're people to be removed and silenced, because otherwise you're against all good things.
Exactly. She's totally right about this.
Truth has...
Well. We just watched a short clip of two people that I really respect. And I started watching Asmon during the pandemic. I discovered chat. I discovered how to not feel lonely by engaging with him, with the things he says, by trying to make him laugh, and just being a general menace in the mosh pit that's chat. And it's absolutely fascinating tool. I'd never experienced anything like it. I'd always poo-pooed that experience, always opted for one in the real world. But when the real world options got taken away during the lockdowns and such, that's what I replaced it with. And yes, it's obviously receded as the world slowly recovers, but there are the scars from COVID that never really heal. I found that myself. It's easier to just pursue this 90% version of a relationship and an interaction. This synthesized version, because it's safer to pursue that and more reliable than to take risks in the real world. And that's just where I'm at. So we've been exploring the wee series, trauma behaviours, all sorts of behaviour, addictive behaviour, individual behaviour, and then we had to look at Ireland, and we looked at nationalistic behaviour, and then the degradation of the philosophy of the elites. When Ireland switched masters, it came with a new philosophy. They then had to ascribe to the oppressed, oppressor, colonised, coloniser, and that thing. And that's just as that's very faulty as well. But you got to measure it by the degrees of hurt on the nation. So Lord Snoot, they raped, robbed, neglected to death Ireland. So by those measures, that was a disaster for the nation. And then from the new masters, we have the oppressed oppressor nonsense, which is why you always get Irish people waving Palestinian flags, and that was, and then you get the wave of immigrants. Everybody's the same. These are all oppressed people. Bring them in. We can pay for them using money that grows on trees, apparently, and weaken our own country to pay for it. I also glossed over religion. Religion's just used as a tool to unify, but there are core things that relate back. That you can relate back to the primal man, the role that you play in society, the need for dominance, the need for recognition, the need for friendship and relationships, and and then you ascribe to the new philosophy. And that becomes a core part of your identity. So when I challenge that, by speaking speaking positively of the independence of Republic of Ireland with an Israeli flag behind me, just that is baffling to people. And what I'm trying to do is pursue truth and justice, and through understanding. And to do that, I have to risk being exposed. And I don't take notes. I don't really take notes or track these stupid videos that I make. So I'm gonna probably going to contradict things I've said in previous videos. I'm probably going to backtrack, double do things. I don't care. But I'm so assured that the pursuit of truth and justice is truly righteous that I will take the exposure. I'm not afraid. I'm 40. Most of my life's over. I've seen more bodies than I care to. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. The pursuit of truth and justice is more important to me than hurting some feelings of some mental inadequates. And to deny that there are mental inadequates is to deny reality. And I don't care. We're talking about the danger of groupthink. And we try to smash groupthink. That's what I'm doing. So if your groupthink philosopher has been haughty-wutted by the thingy wings that I say way, then yeah, suck it up, bozo. If you're intellectually incapable of understanding, then that's just reality. Stick to your lane. I guess your lane's is reacting and being offended and not understanding why. So yeah, stick to your lane. React, be offended, don't watch. Me don't care. Because we'll talk about intentionality, and intentionality is so often post hoc attributed to things. Like you stub your toe on a chair and then look at your dog accusingly and think that it's laughing at you. Like a cat will cuddle on you for warmth and you're like, oh, it loves me. Well, doesn't he really? Doesn't he consciously love you? Like you talk about the behaviour of dolphins and then how they'll save humans, but also they'll drown humans. The case of a pack of dolphins saving a human for a shark, you're like, oh, they love us, man, they understand us. Nah, man, they just fucking hate sharks. So there's some examples of like humans transplanting intentionality onto where it's not. We talked about intentionality there. Of what people are capable of and the fallacies that we fall into in ascribing intentionality into random events. It's like a form of, it comes from primal behaviour, pattern recognition. You're gonna have to grant me a supposition, and let's suppose that 99% of human behaviour is random and reactionary. 80% of that behaviour is perceived by individuals in the society as being intentional, when the main factors are primal drives, reactivity, and chance. Then yeah, it makes you think about the media, the role of the media in influencing opinions, the role of AI in influencing opinions, and how dangerous those are. And I would just like to bring it back to Scotland for a second. And if y'all remember the first referendum for independence, like England was also sure it was going to be Remain, and then as the date got closer and closer, you saw it in the newspapers panicked and they triggered the old guard. The newspapers triggered the old guard, and just the fear and terror that they instilled prior to the independence referendum was just appalling. And we like to downplay the power of the mainstream media, but no, man, they're still the main thing, especially with so many boomers and older generations still out there, and the workaday people that don't give a fuck, and they just consume the easiest form of media, which is like newspapers and news on the telly. Like they don't have a real search for truth. So the media, the Scottish media and the national media, through the outcome of that through fear-mongering and manipulation. They influenced the outcome of the first Scottish independence referendum. And if that had went through, as I voted for independence, we could be looking at a very different Scotland than the one we sit in. Better, worse, who knows? Just different. Perhaps we'd be sitting with a different core philosophy at the heart of the Scottish government, rather than socialism and Islamism. Maybe the government would have grew up a bit and recognised the things that it needed to do to stimulate real growth and real meaning and real nationalistic intent in the nation, rather than the absolute shambles and the asinine nonsense that we see in Holyrood, for Swinney and Mackay. Like, we're all guilty of intellectual laziness. We're all very, very guilty of bias. We're all absolutely guilty of post hoc, putting post hoc intentionality behind random chance events. It makes you question everything. But I am so assured of the virtue of my pursuit of truth and justice that I'm willing to be crucified, to be laid naked before you. I'm recording this for posterity, for my boy, because maybe one day he'll pursue truth and justice and realise the virtue of them and the value of his time, and make decisions not based on resentment, on FOMO, on fear and shame. Fear and shame are huge drivers of inaction. Fear and shame make you enact, and in a world that's based on reactivity, like all it takes is for somebody to throw a stone in the water and you don't know what happens. Like, there's safety. I had the philosophy of don't play the game. You can't be hurt if you don't play the game. You can't lose if you don't play the game. But that was fallacious. You can't play the game if you don't play the game. And alternatives to the game are just they're not life. They're no living. They're just existing. So in my behaviour, there's a pattern of behaviour that's emerged, which is I get my mind right, get on the right pills that fix me. I look back at my behaviour. So let's use the past to predict the future. I'll get stable, I'll get rewarded, and then I'll get complacent, I'll get insulated, I'll start believing, I'll start smelling my own farts, thinking I'm great, thinking I caused this. And then I'll think I don't need the medication. Yeah, I'll start thinking I don't need the medication. I'll come off the medication. I'll start medicating all wrong. Then I'll slide again. So in recording these for posterity, what I'm doing is identifying the pattern. That's why I'll shame myself about my behaviour on alcohol. I don't give a fuck. I'm never going to be that again. And in identifying the cycle in my behaviour, what I'm attempting to do is to stop the cycle. And you can't do that by being dishonest, by acting through shame and dishonesty and intellectual laziness. So there. I think that was motivational. It was probably a lot of things, I don't care. It is what it is. Watch it, don't watch it.